Well, it's a spicy affair, and I've got a smirk on my face because the Twitter stratosphere has lit up in the meantime. We took a quick 5-minute break to gather our breath and gather our thoughts ahead of the next map. It will be Cobblestone between EnVy and G2, and good grief, has it not got a little bit more exciting? As if there wasn't enough drama going on in the scene with roster swaps aplenty and super teams aplenty. EnVy have just dropped a social media bomb. Super team, they said. Rest in peace, EnVyUs, they said. GG, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and 35 for G2 Scream. I mean, I'm just a little apprehensive. It feels a little premature.
Got another map to go, boys. If you get the 2-0, then release that tweet.
Drop it up.
You could get absolutely wrecked on Cobble, and that looks a little bit silly.
Like if we see that cheeky 16-0.
You've been there, haven't you?
Yeah, one time we won a game, and then I said some stuff, and then we got 16-0'd.
Oh, yeah.
That can happen.
Would you describe that as a low point?
No,
Is this how we get into his mind now? How did that make you feel?
No, it's definitely not a wise move.
Okay.
You know?
I mean, there is literally some CS about to be played.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to just get over myself.
Can you believe this guy? He's a professional. You wouldn't believe it. You would not believe it.
Alex, let me do your shot for you. We move on to Cobblestone next.
Do we? Oh, thank you, Henry.
What an interesting affair that's going to be. As I pointed out before the break, it's always a really interesting map against the French teams. Kenny S, he's normally pivotal in this one, but he had a very, very quiet game indeed. Chad, do you think he can recover?
We've seen him struggle on this map before when he's not feeling so good mentally. I think this is going to be a better map for G2 as a whole because they can't get played like a fiddle as much. You can't force them to move around on their CT side as much as what we saw just happen. And the holes in the map are a little bit easier to plug because I feel like you're going to be having a lot of duels a lot quicker once they take territory. It isn't where you hold it and you can posture for a long time. A bit quicker in that regard. I don't think, like, as much as I'm on the Scream train right now, and that was sick, and that was an amazing performance, imagine if he does that back-to-back, this guy is the Goku of Counter-Strike.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, he loves Dragon Ball Z, if you can get the reference.
And then I just built on it. I said, I see what you did there. And it was a response, a rebuttal, some would describe it as. Time to get some predictions going then, Henry G. Because now this is fun.
Arbitrary
Roll the French
predictions
dice.
of Henry G. Let's go with...
Yeah.
Let's go with G2, yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, why not?
It's very difficult while watching. I couldn't imagine how it is to cast that, watching it, and you're watching the players who should be on or were on EnVy playing for G2. It's like,
oh, yes.
You know what? Okay, let's think about it. I think tactically, EnVyUs did actually look better overall. And you got Scream firing like that. It's Cobblestone. Happy looks like the better England leader. I'm going to stick with G2 for now, as I still think they're the better team on paper. But I hope if Scream does that again, as Chad said, anything could actually happen.
Anything can happen. Yeah. And just briefly, Chad, you're going for?
Yeah, I think G2, even though on Cage they pulled out strategies from 2 years ago, but I think they can pull this one out.
There was some retro smoke executes coming in on Cage.
Wasn't it interesting?
No. All right. Well, maybe Chad's going to have his attention puckered as we prepare ourselves for Cobblestone. That's right. We have your favourite Australian. I'm going to keep doing that just because I don't know why I did it in the first place. It's Mitch, and it's none other than Lauren to hang out.
Lauren, the best part about that whole tweet from EnVyUs was actually the fact that Scream's handle is still at G2 Scream as well. So that, look, if that doesn't tell us how much of an incestuous affair this whole thing is, then that probably should make it pretty clear to you guys. It's G2 versus EnVyUs here on Cobblestone now. Pistol just around the corner, Lauren. EnVyUs starting on that T side.
Yeah, it's certainly Game of Thrones, and now we have a castle to play in, so I am certainly looking forward to this. All right, EnVyUs on the T side. G2 on the CT side, and Shocks, you better be ready to handle a lot of players who might just be coming your way. He's going to have a little bit of a look. We've got the 4-1-ish coming out. MBK's going to take the dominance over by the B plateau.
Quite aggressive.
Just kind of find Happy there. And if you know, I guess, Happy's playstyle, you see Happy, you kind of assume, all right, they're going to be on the other side of the map.
Own.
So let's put some players over here. You've got Kenny now spotting towards middle, and Shocks dedicated towards long. So he's going to have to get the first point of call here. And yeah, he's going to back away from this. Doesn't want to outstay his welcome. He can now call in reinforcements and wait for everyone else to come around.
So how does EnVyUs change this up now as well? Just knowing that, you know, at least 2 of them have been spotted there on towards long A. They're actually going to back in towards the middle of the map here via hole. So despite losing Happy in this position earlier on, G2 correctly identified that it was going to be solo, and they pressured him accordingly. Now EnVyUs are all together with 4.
Now, the only thing they've done here is really pull Kenny S over. Everyone else is still roughly around the same spot. You've got MBK now having to respect this. He's heard what's coming. He sees the splashes. He knows what's going down. And Apex playing with USPS without the silence run. Okay, fair enough. whatever you fancy. Body's going to find Sixer in the meantime, and now EnVyUs looking to play towards the B site. RBK biting back means they have a chance, but Apex has found a lovely position to do some work from, but there's still Scream up. And Apex is proving maybe this is the gun to use, but Scream, that's 2. Can he get more? He gets a tag there. Shock's now low, Apex is low. Oh my god! Scream, what is this? This man is just playing out of his mind.
Just let that sink in for a moment, ladies and gentlemen. All on his own. It was a 1v3, essentially. And if Scream ever dabbed, this would probably be the time to do it. Impressive stuff from him, really baiting himself out of a very compromising situation there with nothing but the Glock, and he continues his dominance straight through. Hasn't even signed with the EnVyUs yet, but already a heck of a long way towards making their fans proud. Now they'll be able to buy up a little bit more as well as a result. So 2 UMPs, 2 MAC-10s, and AK as well. Nade thrown in the direction of NBK and drop. Again, Happy on his own here, so we might see a little bit of interaction between NBK and Happy as this map does continue. As NBK will be looking for advantages to thin out the numbers, and Happy likes to do the lone wolf thing.
Yeah, he is known for it. It's his style of play. It's what he's known to do. And it's fine. He can play around drop. He does this a lot. It's kind of a focal point. He'll use himself as almost a rotation pin on the map. And it's perfectly acceptable. You can keep players present towards B. That's the big thing for him as well. EnVyUs can be testing the waters a little over this map. No rush. They have everything to play for in this one. They want to keep this one going in their favor. And here's the flashes in towards drop. Now, no one from G2 is playing it actively. They're not directly in the drop room. They're playing the side room. Now, NBK will try and swing in with that CZ. It doesn't pay off much. Happy's there with the UMP, and it's going to be, again, the swift play over towards that B site. And it's methodical and it's clean until then Apex and Shock's going to find a little bit of action.
Yeah, again, but they're surrounded. There was really no way of them fighting their way out of that situation. I mean, you saw earlier on their body just forced into these really wild swings. This is Scream earlier on here. So 2 players at statue, he knows that. He's already taken one down through drop room. And that's insane.
Just the shot on Apex. It's like, how are you meant to handle that?
Shouldn't be happening, and yet it does. And it still continues to happen. Scream is the kind of player that just delivers us these situations that really should be well outside the realm of possibility, Lauren. But again, lightning does strike twice in some cases. Now some aggression here from G2, straight up mid. Gonna try and turn it up a little bit here. They only get 1 kill, 2 there. But they feed themselves in towards EnVyUs. They were ready with it. They had the numbers, and they'll have the round.
If anything, at least the kills go towards a rifle, which means not too much money, but it's still Scream. Do you want to give him confidence? That's one thing I definitely wouldn't want to do. This guy is playing a very hot game, and you know, the thing is, it's all good and well you see this in, you know, boring levels of CS, you know, the casual levels, but to see someone at a top tier level against a team who knows everything you're going to do, and he still performs like this is such a big thing. But the next important factor as well here is now that Kenny has got an AWP. This was a point on the desk they brought up. We want to see this guy starting to make an impact. He was a bit quiet on Cash. We need to see him perform.
Again, due to getting very little information about where EnVyUs are set up right now, and vice versa, it's very hard for T-sided teams to know what the CT setup is without, you know, risking something. A player, utility, health, whatever it is. Now they're going to go for an execute on towards B. They're going to push blind. They're going to see what they can do with it now. Kenny S has moved up to the statue. Body obscured by smoke. XMS takes the head off Kenny straight away. Body's in a safe position for now, but he needs to do something with it. He and Apex standing tall now. 2 players for EnVyUs. It's Scream again getting Apex, and Scream cannot continue to make us do just that for now. Cut down as he tries to cross by the statue. The bomb is on the statue itself. And Shock's being boosted up now, so G2 have multiple angles to work with.
Exactly, otherwise you're just kind of coming through from that funnel, but brilliant work from Body. To be able to retain his position, he was safely behind the smoke, but he really tried to play into that as best he could. So 3 kills for him, keeping this round at least favorable now towards G2. The bomb's yet to be recovered by Sixer, and he's careful of where he's crossing over, where he's showing himself toward. And to be fair to G2, they're playing this quite passively. They're playing this to a respectful degree. They're allowing Shocks to take his time. No one wants to get caught out because you know, when you're in a 1v2, you want to find a 1v1. You want to isolate them, and he's gone for the plant. Going to try and obscure his view from drop, and he's going to have to pick an angle. He's going to have to pick a play here, maybe make a push towards one of them. He's going to hear this presence now. He's going to see that flash, certainly. He's going to be completely blinded, but he finds Shocks, and now it's a 1v1. Body has 3, he has to get a quad kill here, and Sixer is going to back away. Smart play, utilizing the smoke used against him. Fine time, sees the opponent, and Body will fall. A body bag for him will wait, and Sixer Cool, calm and collected under pressure, keeps EnVyUs leading the way.
Incredibly cerebral play from Sixer there as well. You know when you're in that position, there is no value in trying to play whack-a-mole around the statue against G2 when they got their player advantage there. He committed to a direction, he was flashed, he recovered quite nicely, I might add there. And then knowing the smoke was there, just being able to use what you have at your disposal, even if it's not your piece of utility, but recognizing that it's there for use, is impressive stuff. EnVyUs with 4.
Jilted team, jilted players, should I say, certainly on EnVyUs, and a point to be proven, which we are seeing step by step here. Now, G2 have to respect this. They have so little to work with. They've got some, some upgraded pistols. That's okay. A little bit of a flash, a little bit of armor here and there, but nothing much else. And EnVyUs, we've seen what they like to do. They go over towards A, show a little bit of presence. They leave happy towards drop, and they kind of pull their way back over towards B. This time, MBK again at the side of drop, and you've got Body playing on towards platform. It's viable at times. You've got to make the best of a bad situation here. And they're going to try and do it. Good work from MBK to isolate out Happy. That's good. That's a gun recovered into his hands. But any further work here is going to be tough.
Smoke up on statue here. This is going to allow EnVyUs to set up towards this right side, and now we're going to have a bit of aggression. G2 need to come forward here, but it's just not going to work. Their turn like waves upon rock. Comfortably, it's EnVyUs that waltz on towards that B site. They put the flag down. Even though they share it, it's definitely got the big blue and white on there right now. 9-1 for Scream.
My word. Straight to the double AWP. This seemed like G2 initially on Cash didn't want to go straight to this. They kind of left Kenny a little bit of time, but now it's all right, let's go to this. Let's stop this before it starts because we need to. We don't want to allow them to keep this rolling. That momentum is so desperately in their pockets, but quick attention shown towards A might mean the Shox needs to be really not resting on those laurels here, because here we go, he gets baited into the shot, but he's got the ball, and he still hits Sixer down. That's a lovely bit of work, but there needs to be that follow-up, and there it is. MBK quick on the rotate, not allowing that to spiral out of control, or let Scream get going, should I say. Leaves Happy in a very tough predicament now.
That trade, even to man advantage for G2, could still have been nasty if NBK didn't follow up there. Now, obviously, just the one play left. It's pretty predictable. They kind of know where Happy's going to be working from. He doesn't have the option to back away and try something a little bit different, and G2 get around on the board.
Double AWP recovered as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Body was able to pick that one up, so that goes right back over towards Shox, because the money is still pretty low. 3.8k on Apex, so he's certainly not in a great spot at this one. Still going to buy into whatever he can, not going to forego this. He's not going to try and just stick it out with some sort of pistol. He's going to try and make something happen for him. Shox with a nice spawn too. He could try and make that peek towards long. He's going to go straight down towards middle, smoke it out. Could run through towards Danger or Matrix, however you want to call it. But they have to be careful. They can't start stacking either sides because there's constant presence shown towards A here from EnVyUs, and then they occasionally go towards B. It's very hard for G2 to kind of get the feel of what they're bringing just yet.
Shox and Kenny S now. Two frightening AWPers in their own right, spread across the map there as well, so the influence will be felt one way or another here by EnVyUs. Two players along. Smoke already there. And that will allow the two to split. Scream and XMS, who worked so well in tandem in the last map as well, playing over mid on Cash. Now set up a little bit of a boost situation, hoping for a repeat of CT aggression as we saw in the last round. But this time G2, again, varying it, but Apex, there's not much to really hide behind. You can see him sheepishly trying to back away. He may well be tested from long in just a second, so he's done well to get out of the way. EnVyUs going to pull the trigger right now.
Apex could fall back. He's just trying to hold Shox's cross, basically, or hold his push, so Shox can still operate. Shox is back to side. We've got the quick rotate coming in, and Shox is doing what he needs to here. He's been allowed the room, and he finds XMS. I'm not sure if he just saw an inch, but he certainly took a mile, but the response is coming in thick and fast, and it's RPK to plow his way through the site, and Happy's in a great position here if he can find some use for it before RPK would fall or get too much trouble. And here we go. This is where Happy comes into the action. He does find Body. He's got to know RPK, or NBK was close. And it will be RPK to close it out in the end. So EnVyUs retain those reins in their hands.
And they're keeping AWP going to the next round as well. A little bit of money saved here. Unlikely we'll see two of them, but still Sixer now. We'll have that one in hand. And G2, it is back to the drawing board. Right now, it can't be a happy picture. Only one round in 7.
And it's going to be tough for G2, because if you are G2, you're telling yourself constantly, this is a marathon, it's not a sprint, it's not just about this game. We are here for the longevity, we're here for that long run, whereas the EnVyUs guys, this could be just a bit of a peak in performance from them. This could be a really good showing. This might subside eventually. When you have that real reason to prove a point, you play out of your skin, and we've seen that throughout this game. There's no disputing that. But for G2, you've got to just tell yourself, all right, guys, we've just got to get used to it, got to get used to this team. Don't worry about this. This is still early days. Don't get disheartened yet. And I'm sure they're well aware of this, but it's never fun to lose these games. Certainly not to a team that you previously had players in common with. Now, Shox going to be dancing with Happy there. And, well, Happy's going to win out nice and comfortably, but it's going to probably give away the game that EnVyUs are probably going to head over towards B.
Body and Kenny S going to be set up here on
they?
short. Oh, I like it. They're going to back away. They expend a little bit of utility here. That's going to keep G2 on their toes. For the rest of the foreseeable future, to be honest here, NBK makes a very quick rotate back. I'm not sure if they heard any footsteps through halls because en masse, it's G2 actually making a bit of a reposition here. However, if EnVyUs are fast, they're going to be able to catch NBK and co as they try and get position on the site now. They pushed up the ramp already. NBK behind the armored van, but that's XMS. Apex trying to get to the site itself. He was caught. Happy found body. A couple G2 players close, but they are going to be encircled, surrounded, corralled, whatever you want to call it. Kenny S managed to get 2 valiant kills, but it will be EnVyUs continuing rolling forward here. 2 rounds on the trot. G2 only managing the 1. All they really did was reset themselves ultimately. But now they can come back. Double AWP for them yet again. Really want to have them in the hands of Shox and Kenny S. Spread them over 2 sites and make this work for them. Now Apex, maybe drop room for him instead of NBK. Oh no, playing close here on long. Okay.
Gonna be boosted up. Nicely done. So he can kind of watch, I guess, middle-ish. But the problem is that there could always just be someone walking up middle. You've always had that in your back of your mind going, well, we don't really have the whole map under wraps. We're going to hope that doesn't happen. We're going to have to just kind of invest into this for now. And actually, it's not a bad idea. Shox is about to be under some pressure here. Fully white, going to slowly back away. Doesn't want to give away he was there. And now that plays in Apex.
Apex now turning his eyes towards long. 1 shot's all he's going to need, but he doesn't get it. He misses it. Screamy just turns around, almost laconically flicks the AWP in his or the AK, should I say, in his direction. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but Shox is able to back away. He's able to get some spoils of war in the form of RPK as well. But Happy's already made his way through. There was no NBK awaiting him this time. Body, no idea what hit him. Now 4v3. Advantage EnVyUs as they pressure.
But G2 have no idea. They are so lost as to what's going on, but they're still fighting through it. So Happy going down means at least, okay, well, that threat's removed. We haven't seen the others really flex too much just yet. They pushed up on long, and we haven't seen anything since, so where are they? And it's an AWP on either side. You've got Kenny S now, has to deliver. He has to provide something. He cannot just go down unnecessarily, and the flash does nothing, and well, there you go. 6 has bested him. You've got to be able to provide that for your team, and now Scream gonna walk out. Very much loud and proud at this point, and NBK could be in severe trouble. He is. Scream, not gonna miss it. And now Shox, you want to keep hold of that AWP.
1 by 1, the hit squad of EnVyUs is able to take down these G2 targets, and yeah, you better believe Shox is going to abscond with this AWP. G2 have not been able to establish a foundation in their economy. And again, any other day, any other bank total, Shox could have gone for something if he was closer to the action in position, but that missed AWP shot on B platform really hurt G2. That was it. That was the stopping power. 1 bullet would have been enough to get the job done. At least would have been able to back away and set up again. And again, it'll be of no value for G2 to rue missed shots like that one. Bomb will tick down. There'll be another round coming up here for Team EnVyUs. A 7-round lead, and G2 need to try something different. You can see, Lauren, they're trying to weave in little bits of CT aggression, forward positioning, using the Mag 7, using the AWP with close picks, but it's not been working in their favor.
Yeah, and there's the pause now. What?
Might be a delay on our little panorama.
So it says, yeah, tactical. All right, I was about to say, I doubt this would be technical, unless they're being a bit cheeky. But yeah, tactical pause is going to come in, and G2 need to find some answers here. For me, it's very hard to answer this sort of presence from EnVyUs. It's very hard to quantify what they're doing sometimes because, in theory, I like what G2 brought then. The play up long, they put Apex in a good position. He only had the Mag 7. It is that kind of like, you're just hoping it works out for you, but then Scream just completely decked him with the AK. So it's very hard to deal with this.
CT side Cobblestone is quite often a series of transactions in which you gain information at a cost, right? Are you going to make a risky peek? Are you going to use utility that will facilitate you to get out and see what's going on? Are you going to go for a close push? You know, it often requires you to take a lot of risks to accurately assess game state or positioning of the enemy team. And EnVyUs are quite adequately punishing these attempts from G2. A lot of situations, we talked about them playing close up with, you know, AWPs and Mag 7s. We talked about, you know, players sitting on towards the B platform trying to receive the push with an AWP, which is always risky. Now, a team like Virtus Pro plays the CT side of B in tandem. They used to use 2 players. It was Neo and Pasha for quite some time, actually, one with an AWP, one with an AK, and they just try and get trades or they try and set something up here. G2 need to get a little bit more creative here, and they need to, I guess, their risk management definitely needs to improve if they want to keep getting this level of information and read EnVyUs early.
Let's see if it comes through. EnVyUs waiting to see if there's anything coming towards them this round. There's been a bit of a line in the sand drawn here. And they know that they're going to come into a round against a team with a bit of a strange purchase to put at the very least in. Is XMS going to do this? I wonder, is he just going to take the swing out? Is there going to be a flash in from Scream? Or XMS is holding incredibly close here. So if Shox does go walkabouts, XMS will be the one to punish it. But it's a very cautious round from EnVyUs. They don't want to give guns away, basically.
There's a flash for XMS there as well, so we can facilitate a quick entry in. Also a Scream up on the hill. And again, if you're EnVyUs, you're expecting this from G2. They've really tried this, quite a few rounds. This was the only successful round for G2 involved Shox being in this position.
Yeah, and if Shox falls, that would be an A split so quick. You just wouldn't want to even consider it. But it's not to be the case. He's played this safe. He's going to back this one away. He is pretty much the whole Guardian of A, and he took a bit of a gamble then, being in middle, just hoping that no one slow walk up long.
It worked.
And yeah, it's fine. There's now 4 players, though, to get past on towards B. And EnVyUs have done this against guns, so I wouldn't be totally surprised if this happens. But they've got to keep it clean, got to play it safe, got to play it to the best of their ability, and there we go. The smoke might give away a bit of the game here. Shox is going to start considering heading over, and there we go. It looks like the drop players are getting pretty much ready to rumble. And well, G2 have to just get ready for what's coming their way.
And MBK with nothing but a P250 needs the headshot. He gets it straight away, but the rest of his team is not faring well at all. Body, Kenny S both fell over on the side. Now Happy steps up to the plate and delivers the shot. G2 lacking the arsenal to really do anything to repel EnVyUs in this case. And EnVyUs, they did their homework, they did their due diligence. They spent money on the utility to hit that site, and they did it cleanly.
And I wonder if now EnVyUs just switched something up. They know this is probably the round that G2 took that tactical timeout for, or at least, you don't expect it in the round when they have an AWP and nothing else particularly. This is a round, if you come up with an idea of how you want to play it, this is where you put it into practice. I wonder if EnVyUs are now going to switch something up, maybe go for a faster hit, play something differently. And we do have a bit of a change up here. Apex playing towards middle, Shox towards long. Nothing too crazy. It's still relatively similar, but we'll see how this one pans out for them, because they need a round on the board here.
Shox will again be playing in tandem with Apex, who will be watching mid via the ramparts. Or the stone wall, if you want to put it that way. Again, Kenny S needs to hit this shot. This time, Body's playing a little bit more forward for him as well, so they can at least, get some sort of trade and allow Kenny S some time to reposition. So far, Happy going solo in the direction of drop room. Didn't come in off the back of that flash, though. This is EnVyUs just mustering their forces for a pretty big B hit with this utility they've got.
This has to be Kenny S. There's no two ways about this. The flash comes in, the angle is obscured. He has to respect this. Falls back towards the site, and now Body and MBK need to support him as well, but Body's not ready. And Kenny can do nothing. He makes no impact. It's MBK trying to fight the good fight for G2. But you can't fight against this sort of power that's coming through here, and Scream finds 2. 6 are claiming Apex will be pretty much the nail in the coffin, but Shox is going to go for a walk. Straight through the smoke we go, trying to find a quick fight, and he does. But look at the damage he's taken for that.
You can't blame Body for that. Obviously, he wasn't ready. Obviously, he was blindsided. Kenny had to back away because he was flashed. Now, obviously, Kenny was watching that the B platform, and Body was pushed up. He actually backed away eventually. The flash came in from Kenny. He goes over towards Statue. So there was a little bit of input lag between the information given. Kenny saying, I'm backing away. Could you please watch the push off B? A little bit too late. You could see it was maybe half a second there before Body was actually ready to receive that kind of push, but he got completely mowed over. 9 rounds in it. EnVyUs just absolutely all over G2. Now they're forcing into Famises and a Mag 7. Desperation now showing for G2.
Yeah, G2 are being absolutely bodied in this game. There's very few instances you'll see such a, I guess, extreme scoreline between these two, especially when it's domestic matchups. Normally, you see these kind of players, having these close games, and we saw them before having quite close games with this. It's very one-sided.
They may understand each other, but these are 2 different teams, comprised of friends and people that are acquainted and know each other quite well, but they're still different.
Battle of the gods right there. Scream and Shox just going blow for blow, but it will be Scream to come out the victor of that one, or at least for that exchange. And Apex might fancy his odds. Maybe there's a weakened demigod waiting for him, but not to be the case. He's going to back away from that one slowly as pressure is being placed towards B.
I mean, the setup for EnVyUs over on that B platform has been so good. Kenny hasn't been able to have an impact, but now the push comes through. MBK successful with the hold in towards drop, gets 2, and now XMS forced to push. Body and Kenny going to be there.
It's the first time we've seen MBK able to fully deny that drop plate and still be able to allow the rest to try and dominate B, but it's Scream left. But 36 HP, he was wounded from that earlier skirmish with Shox, so surely he can't be allowed to do this. But if you're G2, in the back of your mind, out of the one player you want left alive to play off against, it would not be Scream. So he has nothing to play with, no utility, no flashes, nothing to create these situations to go in his favor. He's got 25 seconds, and Kenny is already close by. He's the first port of call. Scream, this might be beyond you.
We know the gods can bleed, but can they win in this situation now as well? Scream knows there were shots coming through, and Kenny S is going to be there and ready to receive him. Too many start aims at G2 there. But again, their control of that, our big platform's been excellent. NBK, we said he was successful there in that drop play. Often he's only playing with a P250. I mean, such has been the economic situation for so much of this game for G2 that NBK hasn't really had much to protect himself with, and often just has to give ground and try and hold the angle around the corner and get a lucky headshot or something like that. It's not really been much for him to work with.
And this is different from EnVyUs. Look at the pacing they're bringing into this. Is this going to be a straight-up B hit? It might be, this could be their response to what was coming their way, rather than just kind of testing the waters over by A, where they know they've been having these extended battles with Shox and Apex. Maybe they're going, all right, we know there's only going to be 3 here, they're not going to stack it out, and here's the go signal. Surely Happy Funny MBK is a big hit, but will they commit off the back? Will they try and expect a rotate to come through? They're going to try and punish this further. This is all in the mind of Happy right now.
And individually, Happy and Scream are the ones doing the work here. Let's see if they can continue it. Kenny misses the shot. He was flashed on the statue. Misses the second as well. Flower pots are your worst enemy in that case, and he is simply not hitting the shots. Kenny S put in situations where he struggles to actually have a clear shot or an opportunity to make a clean frag. Again, pushed out of position and dealt with accordingly. Now it's Shox on his own. All the way over from A. EnVyUs have Scream. G2 have Shox amongst others.
They don't know he's got here. Six is still watching the push out from the smoke. They have no idea he's got out this far.
Bomb's loose as well. Shox sees it. He backs away. He might go toward connector or just try and bide his time inside drop room. Sixer with an AWP. This is not ideal. He'll have to trade weapons in, but he knows he'll make sound in doing so. He needs to be careful.
Sixer has no clue where Shox went. He could have gone walking about on the square towards his right. He's gonna take the educated guess. He's gonna hope that, all right, he's probably gone into drop. He'll probably be playing around here. I've just got to get the bomb down. I need to get something going in my favor. And that, for now, is the time. And Shox now needs to play it towards him, but oh my god, Tech 9 out, Sixer! What is this?
There it
Goes
is.
up to the AK and now it's on.
Grenade does hit. 8 points of damage. That's all. Sixer now wants to work his way around the smoke. Shox is keeping respectable distance behind the rock here, trying to play percentages. He's got a little bit of time and a kit. He wants to see if he can break Sixer's nerve here. If he'll get a peek. Selling for nothing, and there it is. Sixer completely mind games himself. Expects Shox to be on the move, but the man, he's too seasoned, too much of a veteran for that. He stays and sits tight, and he's rewarded as such.
I love that. Shox just sat there and, all right, you make the mistake. And, well, Sixer did. He sat in the smoke and then eventually made the guess that Shox would have worked his way around. I guess you have to take a gamble, but that certainly wasn't the right one.
Damned if you do and damned if you don't in a lot of those cases. And Statue is a vulnerable position, especially if you are up against a player who's being proactive. And Shox probably knew that. He knows how naked you feel in a 1v1 or in some sort of hold scenario on that Statue. It's the only place to put the bomb down, Shox. Just be careful, RPK. Couple of shots in through the smoke, and now Shox sees this. He hears Scream now as well.
Pretty sure Scream saw that too.
Yeah,
Look at
lobs
them.
a nade in his direction.
They're all sallying up, ready for this one. 3 of them now taking mid-control, and Happy's broken through
Apex is
again
watching Shox.
towards drop. But now Shox has got to be careful. He can be overwhelmed here. He has no support close this time. Apex holding danger. What he finds Happy, that's good. That's trading it out. Now back to the 4v4. And EnVyUs have shown where they were, and RPK's been left behind.
With the bomb, no less. He needs to get out now, and he does. Shox chose not to play aggressive there as well. Had to be careful because Apex couldn't fully cover that angle. He was looking down to danger. Doesn't give you all the view of that middle underpass. And our body respects this, backs up a lot, might even play close here, but a flash, that's going to be full flash for him. Kenny S, another missed shot that can kick me through. Luckily, Body's here to get 2, and now surely Kenny S, yes. Shot chimes in, RPK now the last man standing for EnVyUs. Definitely running out of legs, running out of gas and time. 40 seconds left, and Kenny S is going to put that one to bed nice and quickly. 6 rounds in it, but G2, the rounds they managed to pick up have been hard fought, but they remain in this half and in this game.
Yeah, if they get 5 now, they at least can bring something in. But look how, well, what a late research. CES, go. CES, good old Valve. Oh, dearie me. But we are back.
We enjoyed that a bit too much, I feel.
Yeah, I like watching it go wrong. But the point is that they actually are live into this round, and I can talk you through it as this is not the live version of it. We are actually behind in this. And for now, what we are seeing is a very cinematic view, but live in the game, it's a big hit over towards B. That's what's going down now. We've got MBK, Kenny S back in Chicken Coop as well. MBK on the statue, a bit of a switch up there, and Body playing over by Rock. So no one actively playing drop here.
Neither Apex nor Shox have gone deep for information on A yet either. Kenny needs to stand his ground. He's missed far too many shots for Kenny S standards at least. But MBK is actually the first to get involved. Happy and Scream though. Tech9s really leave a mark up close and personal, but Happy's been left on his own now.
But you know where Happy comes from, or most of the time you do, but he's got himself an AWP. And he's in a position that no one's really predicting at the moment. They haven't thought he's this far ahead until Apex clears this. Then they'll start to worry. You can see it instantly. MBK swings over. His attention drawn as Apex says he's not in drop, so he's got to go out window. But they've at least got the bomb.
Yeah.
There you go. Shots start coming through now. Apex probably the one to at least bait in the attention. Keep Happy basically pinned in this spot. No matter where he goes, it's going to be tough, and it does get tough indeed. Kenny S there to find Happy, but what an incredible map 2 we've already had. EnVyUs off to a blistering start. It looked like Scream, again, started off so well, but we've seen G2 bring back a couple of rounds. There's still a chance.
Yeah, EnVyUs showing us that Cash was no fluke. We'll have to see if they can ride high on that momentum and maintain it now coming into the second half. It'll be Cbble the second half between G2 and EnVyUs right around the corner. We'll see you soon. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and, well, what a match it has been so far. It's been an explosive run from start to finish, not even including the first map, but Scream has continued to be a huge impact. This particular play, getting his team out of jail with a 4K. Really can't ask for much more than that, even though probably the fans will be, and EnVyUs may just need it, as G2 have been nipping at their heels in the last few rounds of the first half.
Alrighty, G2, here's time for the fight back. And look at this setup from EnVyUs, actually. 3 players playing towards long here. XMS in danger, Sixer and RPK on long. This is interesting, XMS. Ooh, that's not the shot you want to be hitting. And now this is getting awkward. They blocked each other on long. What's going on here, EnVyUs? But RPK's taking a stand. Oh. What a shot from Sixer! But his head goes rolling on the floor, and suddenly the train has been stopped.
A 2v2 after Shox managed to equalize. Sixer was badly wounded after that little engagement. The 2 EnVyUs players were stacked up so much they're actually taking penetrative bullet damage as well. Only slightly, of course, with those US, with the Glocks, but still not great. And now Shox will bring the bomb through towards B. Fire platform, MBK sees 2 players here as well. Might be even wise to back away here, expecting a bit of aggression. It'll be coming, but Happy comes over the top, points straight down and hits the trigger, and MBK is no more. Shox in a 1v2 now, 44 points of health, and Happy. Nice recovery into the later part of the round there after a bit of confusion earlier. EnVyUs are going to start on a high note.
There it is. Happy and Scream, the 2 players. You know that feels good for them as well. Great start to the second half. 11-5 now. Building up well. Happy just leaping through that the window as well. You just don't expect that. It's like, why are you doing this? But for G2, you've got to just mentally keep your mind in this one. Reset. Try and keep yourself calm, collected, just, you know, through the motions, boys. Let's do this now. All right, so what do they go for in this round? Just, you know, a couple of deagles. Well, a deagle, should I say, P250s. Nothing more, and it's farming time for EnVyUs.
Not a lot to work with here. P250 seems to be the order of the day for G2. Molotov thrown. Just a warning from EnVyUs. Don't get too close with those pistols. We know what you're about. We helped you write the book on that. Especially as teams who used to love the 4 spies. Managed to get that out of their systems eventually, but still. XMS with the UMP solo on towards that B platform now. Bit of a group up here. Long is where Sixer gets heavily tagged by Apex. Not one shot fired, and he backs away.
All right. It looks like an A-pinch. You can see the players over by drop getting ready to get into this as well, but you only got P250. You're just looking for chances here, and RPK. Nice work towards KennyS there, just keeping that all cleanly done for himself. And now the rest of G2 just going to pinch themselves together, try and make a hit, try and find a target to focus on. XMS pushed up close by that B platform too. So RPK looking likely to be the target. See if he can hold up more with that MP9. Certainly got a good rate of fire on it to rip through them, but we'll find out now. Apex veers over, and RPK is showing some prowess. Nicely done, well kept, doesn't lose out. And there we go. Clean round for EnVyUs. Don't lose a single player, and RPK gets the money building well.
And against the team that is chock full of Mavericks like G2, a restrained approach to the round. And in fact, the coming rounds, to be fair, for EnVyUs is definitely going to be what is required. RPK farms up a nice little wad of cash as well off the work with that MP9. So much so that he'll keep it for now. Arguably playing towards that drop room. This time a little bit harder to get those kills, but again, he's committed to it. That's all that matters.
Yeah, G2, this is the big round for them, in my eyes. One of the best opportunities they have to really build this one back, and they have limited amounts to work with to do so. But for G2, you've got firepower, you've got that raw ability that you can hope to provide enough with this sort of play. Now, Body going all the way through, kind of anti-flash on that, just in case there's a need. And for now, it's Scream and Sixer duoing up towards middle. Gonna just forego presence on long, which is dangerous. It can be a hard play to make, so you're just hoping they don't just slow walk up and get a better angle on you, which is exactly what's happened. Good play so far from G2. Now Scream is still in the mix here. He's showing a lot of presence over by middle. They know where he is, but he's gonna try and buy time. Allow players like Happy to get over into position, but it's a quick hit from Body, and now A is looking vulnerable.
Yeah, G2 have worked long very well, and Scream knew he was vulnerable, had to push forward and try and make something happen. Body able to get back behind the armored car before being taken down. RPK was getting dangerously close. And now it's XMS, the newcomer. Not a lot of expectation on this guy, but to be fair, even if there was expectation, I think he's lived up to it. Very good role player, supported Scream incredibly well for the last few rounds.
Yeah, we certainly said on Cash as well. He had a very big impact in the way he was kind of playing towards Highway, playing off of Scream, playing towards Happy, really playing a nice filler role. Now, this isn't the round you expect him to do anything towards. Ideally for him, gets an upgrade. There's nothing else going to happen from this. Please don't do anything. I was like,
just don't do anything.
Don't walk to the site and just get the defuse just to make me seem like a complete moron. I do that well enough by myself. There we go. XMS will be able to make it away. Not being hunted down particularly by anyone here, so he'll be safe. And he does keep the head armor and the UMP, so worthwhile at this point because he wouldn't really get much done. But he was low there, but you can see with the absolute squad that G2 had, you're not going to get much into that. So now for EnVyUs, consider your options. You've got a decent bit of money, not a massive amount, and I'm wondering what sort of approach they have to this. I think, I guess a light investment.
This is quite restrained.
Yeah, it is very restrained for a French side.
For RPK, who had those, you know, multiple kills with that MP9, has actually sort of gone for a very light investment himself. So they really want to come back strong in that next round. And that's fine. EnVyUs have a lot of a buffer to work with here. Scream goes down very early on. MBK playing incredibly passively on A-Long, caught him as he tried to press towards him. As you can see, he's made really no intention of moving thus far, and Sixer was hoping that he might push off that one, maybe bolstered by confidence after getting that kill, but you have to get up early in the morning if you want to get the better MBK in that kind of mind game.
All right, KennyS towards XMS. So threats being removed systematically. That's what we want. Good flash though from RPK. Does put out the bomb there, but you've still got support. So G2 keeping the numbers up. Exactly what you want to see if you're a G2 fan at this point. And now Sixer left with the Deagle and just, you know, and maybe a prayer.
Sixer about to be put in the mixer. At least he might look like it after trying to take a fight with no armor against these AKs. Bomb down at 45 was on the clock. Again, much the similar position that XMS faced previously. It's about an upgrade. About getting something for this. He doesn't really want to throw away investment towards the Desert Eagle. Definitely come in handy later on. And EnVyUs, again, I like this approach from them as well. They realise they've got that 6-round lead, but still taking it one at a time. Very seasoned approach to Counter-Strike, no doubt about it. He's not going to show. And fair enough too.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Going to the next round, he's all right anyway. Ideally, maybe go looking for the gun that Apex lost. That's where his little bit of a glimpse is. And nothing there. Can't find it. Oh, he's still on 5k anyway, so he's fine. He can buy up what he wants to, regardless. So, no worries for him. KennyS does get the AWP. Now, we didn't see much action from him with this gun specifically. He's holding his own to a degree. You know, scoreboard-wise, he's not completely offending anyone. He's not, you know, going off, but he's also not completely quiet. But you want more from KennyS. You want opportunities to be given to him and to be able to be taken.
That first half, he had opportunities given to him as well. And unfortunately, just one of those nights, he wasn't able to capitalise and make those first, you know, it's all about the first attempt a lot of the times, the AWP. If you miss that, you've got to back off to a less than optimal position and hope for a second follow-up.
Yeah, and the early kind of play out from EnVyUs over towards A was kind of Scream and Sixer going down towards long, and they've fallen off of that. So they've fallen back to a more of a kind of traditional spot. KennyS is just waiting for someone to dare peek into this. Now he's seen a molly go up, and he's a good timing on the flash. There's the control right over to the CT side. Happy and XMS displaying what they have, the power they've got. Quick flash in towards drop. They might have seen this, but a good split from G2. But RPK will catch one on the heels. That's KennyS. But Shock still has the bomb. And RPK, what is this? He's coming alive now. And now we're going to find out what Body can do right in the middle of things, being a real nuisance. Him and Shox have to dig deep now.
NBK trying to go for a late push on the A side there from middle. It was actually Sixer to pick him off with the AWP. Relieving a heck of a lot of pressure on the side of EnVyUs, by the way. It is XMS currently on his own at B. There's a window of opportunity here for G2 to pressure. Sixer and Scream are actually pushing deeper on A, so XMS needs to just stay alive and give information. But this might make it hard. The Molotov, it's going to force him to stand and deliver. He really had no other option. Sixer, in the meantime, had made his way in towards Connector, though. But the smoke is going to make it nigh impossible for him to see across. If there's a boost here, that's an opportunity, though, for Sixer. There's the peak. There's the shot. 2v1. Shox with the bomb down.
And Shox knows there's someone coming from this angle, but timing is not on his side here. He's got the positioning, he's got the rifle, but he's only got 34 HP now. And Sixer is encroaching on his position too. Here we go, here comes the swarm, and Shox just can't hold on to it. And there it is. Diffuse is going to come through. EnVyUs get the 13th on the board.
You know, and we don't often call, you know, head-to-head scores into question or head-to-head performances here, but I struggle to think of too many occasions where, you know, straight up one-to-one, Shox has been able to outgame Scream in this game. Seems just to be ahead of the curve a little bit there. Again, fueled by perhaps the desire to prove something. It's been a good start for him so far. RPK's had an excellent game so far as well. 22 and 16 for him. Obviously a player that we used to sing praises of many moons ago. Never quite managed to live up to that name recently.
Okay, Sixer's got a cool spawn. And KennyS is here. Where's he going to go? Okay, Sixer's actually backed away from this. And I'm wondering why. Is it because of the early presence shown by drop? Body and Shox are making, you know, a large amount of noise here. They just run straight in. I don't know if they're trying to sell this. That might be the plan here. Try and sell the rotate. Try and pull them away from this while the rest of G2 are edging towards that A side. But the problem being they've taken so long now to do this, and the game plan's been read. The A split has come through to nothing, really. And Scream's in a great position there. Apex head gets ripped straight off. Reply, though, from MBK, but there's only 2 of them left now.
A moment of hubris maybe from Scream there to go for that second spray down. MBK could see his head above the smoke. Now it's on KennyS. He finds that first shot. That's what we've been missing from him this whole game. There's still more work to be done now. MBK is still watching his flank. He's still in towards the middle of the map, pushing towards A. He hasn't had the go signal yet. It's not safe. He's watching his 6, and he's a little bit early. XMS is, if you see the minimap, slowly making his way across. But MBK a little bit premature in maybe expecting a push there. What is Kenny up to? What is he looking for here? He's down towards Wooden.
He's hoping someone gives him something to play with.
Nothing.
Because MBK's going to find it hard to cross safely anyway. There could be someone at the door. There could be someone anywhere at this point who can at least spot the cross for a little bit. That's why Kenny's having to keep an eye on this. Like, he's going to have to peek door soon. There's the flash, peeks the door. Now MBK can kind of slowly work his way up. And then the threat might be another angle next time. It's very hard to keep all these angles safe.
Watched.
No, exactly. Happy's playing very, very passive, but it's a mental game. It's the theory of someone being there is going to be in the back of your mind. So now, MBK, where are you going to plant it? Probably for long, because you've got KennyS up. So there you go. That's probably a bit of an assumption you can make at this point. RPK showing a bit of presence, and now XMS can be interesting in this role. He can try and challenge Kenny quickly and try and remove the threat he can bring, or he can just focus on MBK. Let's see how they try and challenge this one down.
Kenny's in a strong position. Oh, but G2 had no information about where EnVyUs were or where they would come from. It's on Kenny now.
These peaks are dirty. Look at that. They want the info. They make him shoot, and they take the fight. Really nicely read from them. They knew Kenny S was still up. They knew the bomb was playing for long, and that's the play they went for.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny was in a good spot there as well, but he really relied on NBK to be there. He could have opened it up with a trade, a 1-for-1, solid 1-for-1 at the very least, and then have had information on where EnVyUs were actually sort of filtering in from, but it won't be enough, and that's going to hurt for G2. They were just starting to, you know, throw a spanner in the works of the economy of EnVyUs, starting to stagger these rounds out 1-for-1 and actually starting to build a bit of an economy of their own. You can see now that is all but gone to such a degree. The body actually favours the Tech-9 in this situation. Enough utility, perhaps. And there's an AWP as well for Kenny S, but that right now is not exactly the most, I don't know, reconciliatory tone. It just hasn't really been what they needed.
No, 14-7 now. Sixer finding a new... Oh, going to pop him up. I don't know why I started calling that position Titanic. I can never remember, but if you guys out there actually know what that spot is called, yeah, I think that's probably it.
It's
but
like
no,
it's overlook.
Yeah, we always call it Titanic. I don't know if there's an official spot. It's a nice angle though, but it's very tricky to back away from if they have long control, which is actually what G2 are working towards. So Scream might have to commit over towards middle. We'll see how he plays this one out. Actually, I'm really curious. Get a nice kind of vertical advantage. Yeah, he's going to commit to this because they've lost that long control. Sixer is watching the angle, but it's it's tough. It is really
tight.
really thin. Yeah. Oh, Happy's rotated over. EnVyUs are believing in this hit, and actually they're in the right place at the right time, but are they watching middle? Body is walking right on up. You just don't expect this sort of play, but Happy will find him, and there's the reply. Finally, Kenny gets one. Shox is there too, but Scream's still in a great position. Bit of a turret now, and they're all going to come in from the same direction. This is trouble for G2.
And G2 can't really back away. If they go down the slope, they're at risk of being pressured here by players from RPK's position. But he falls down. NBK's head goes rolling there, just peeks across the fence for long enough, and now it's XMS going up against Shox, the young versus the older. And it'll be XMS to get it done to take this one to match point now, 15-7, and G2 desperately probing for openings that just do not exist.
Oh my word, 15-7. This is a statement piece from EnVyUs if I've ever seen it. The first map said it all, and now they've been able to have consistency throughout this. And a name we've not said enough, and I feel we have to highlight right now, is RPK. He had a couple of standout rounds, but he has been consistently grinding out these kills. Another man who got left off these rosters, but can they really steal the deal now? Happy blinded, but he's got support. He's got a friend there, and that's RPK. A good man to have by your side at this point, as G2 are going to put all their eggs into the basket of B.
That's right, XMS needs to be ready to receive this. Oh my lord, NBK, the Galil swings across like a boom hammer, and he makes the shot. Scream goes very, very low, but from long range, the one-tap King makes it happen. Now we got the 3v3. EnVyUs need to get a little bit closer to this situation and gain some information, some close peeks. A lot of nades towards Sixer, a moment of vulnerability, and Shox makes the most of it now. The Tech-9 traded up to the UMP for him, and Happy backing away. EnVyUs respect this. And G2 come in with a very messy buy, but get aggressive. They go straight and take the ball by the horns on that B site. And that'll keep them alive for now.
Gonna need to hold on to these for EnVyUs, just keep them safe as possible. G2, I guess it's a process at this point in their minds. You know, it's tough for them to keep this one going, but here we are, 15-8. G2 not had the best of, I guess, impact this game. There was a couple of players you want to, be at the forefront. You're not seeing everyone operating. When Body, the player who's probably meant to be more of that supporting player, or people have theorized he was going to be one of those more supporting players in this aspect, alongside with MBK probably, when he's one of the guys really up there, maybe a bit of a backward situation. But the money for EnVyUs is pretty sparse now. They've only got 2 rifles to play with, 3 pistols. So this is going to be a little bit tricky, as Sixter is dodging bullets at this point.
Yeah, they're making him dance, and he's the only player over on A, so he probably needs to value his life just a little bit more. But at the same time, it gives G2 nothing at all. This is not really where you want to be with that P250. He has no information about long, because EnVyUs have committed so many players towards B. There's no second man at A.
Look, Mitch, the tree to his left is impenetrable. I'll tell you that right now. You can't get around it. If you ever tried to play on Cbble when you're playing up and that tree to your left, you're like, I'm safe. Don't worry. Well, until 5 people come pouring through, then maybe not so much. But you know what? He's going to have to just make his mind up. He's going to have to just stick it out somewhere, and here it is. So turns splash, but still gets seen.
Just up against the wall execution style, not a thing you can do.
No, this is going to be clean. This should be a very clean round for G2, actually. They've been so hesitant. Look how cautious they are at this. They're just like, check the damn corners. I do not want to lose these guns. And, well, it's going to be okay. Body's brave. Body takes a step forward. He's going to be all right, guys.
He's the role
You're going to
player.
hand back.
Yeah.
I'll go and get it done. Don't you worry. I'm used to dying first. Here we go. Off we pop, and there we are. Fine. Bomb goes down, side's cleared, and they get the read right. 4 players from EnVyUs were over by B. They took a gamble, they took a risk, and it didn't work out this time.
May just take more than clever reads to give G2 the round deficit that they need. I mean, at best here, they take it to overtime. At worst, it could be over in the very next round as EnVyUs have deliberately not thrown any of this money into the fire. They're going to be holding on to it now, including 2 rifles. GG would love to get it off them, but again, they're playing in a position where they have to walk into Fort Knox almost. I mean, it's pretty close. EnVyUs have the side canvassed out, the angles are there, very hard to find a weakness. Shox is going to look for it here. He feels like he maybe at least is expendable to the cause. But they got 2 players here as well. This could be an upgrade. This could be an AK for G2. For EnVyUs, should I say, if they're not careful.
Playing him in. XMS.
Oh, surely not.
Shox. All right, I don't know if anyone's going to get that time,
no.
So that was, you've got to feel for XMS. You're like, oh, bless. It was there, you know, it was taking part. 15-9, bringing this back a little bit closer here. And G2, every round, step by step by step.
Another save here for EnVyUs, or at least the players that didn't have guns.
Yep.
So it's a clear statement of intent here from EnVyUs. Determined to win this match and not wanting to take any risks. Not always what we expect from French Counter-Strike. It's always been the more explosive, the more capricious beast. But it is what it is.
G2. It's the hesitation that you keep seeing. You saw that really slow progress towards A. That you can't blame them for it. I certainly don't. You want to be as cautious as possible. They want to test those waters. And Shox is a little bit of a glimpse, and that's not good. The gun's dropped on the other side too. That's another recovered. That's 3 now with rifles. And Sixer, he could just wait on the other side of the smoke. He's going to wait right in it. Oh my God, Sixer, you brave, brave man. There's 3 players just down from him. He's going to smoke it down. There we go. And again, and he can hear if anyone steps past him. No one has. This is information gathered.
Apex tried to spam him through the smoke there and didn't hit any of the shots. Okay. So we didn't see it, but I guess on Kenny S's side, it's possible that he actually saw straight through that smoke, or the smoke cleared, should I say, via his perspective. It's a 4v4. Numbers are even now. And on this site, there are 3 EnVyUs players. That's probably the most important part. G2 may well be walking into a trap. But Scream shows himself and loses his life uncharacteristically cheaply now. That's RPK and Happy trying to get a crossfire going on. Happy had to win the duel, but he doesn't. RPK at least gets the trade out. 2v3. Bomb loose. It's going to be scooped up very quickly by Kenny S, who wastes no time in trying to get forward towards RPK. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Kenny S up on the side. It's XMS in a 1v3.
Here we go. Deagle in hand, no gun to be seen, or at least close to him. That's the problem. He can't really just reach out and grab one, and there it is. MBK secures the angle that was going to be the problem, but I did have a feeling then, you know, when you see RPK in a position like he could be that ace up the sleeve, he could have done something really dangerous then.
Oh, Scream dying so early there, back towards cannons.
Maybe he was looking for information. Maybe they were just instinctively checking this, because you saw how methodical G2 were on their sweeps towards A before. That's probably what happened. I can imagine we didn't see his perspective there. But for now, we've got the double ops now for the T side as well. Shox and Kenny S going up on that, and no AWP on the EnVyUs side. So let's see if they can keep this one up. 3 players actually now towards A. XMS, Scream, Sixer, all postured early towards that position. But XMS going to back away from this now.
Yeah, maybe even something G2-esque, a player positioned quite far forward. Sixer now. Hoping for a cue, sound, or anything like that to know the nade should come out. You see the Molotov there? That's enough for him. No player sitting close on the right, though, and he won't have it. This could be a nasty one. Molotov over the top. Flash in. Quick turn now. Has to face the music. Apex, though, a little bit too fast. He lands that headshot. That needed to happen for G2. Happy just walks into that one. Gives himself up like a burnt offering. And Apex, again, finds Scream. It's 1 by 1. EnVyUs jumping into the fog, and they're not coming out the other side.
I've waited so long to see that Apex and Kenny S combo just coming back into that good play. They bound off each other so well. And the danger man in that situation, though, was Happy. He was not meant to be over by A, but he could do nothing. He got tagged quite early on there, so he wasn't able to really pull through. But now for the rest of EnVyUs, you got to be thinking, where do we keep these guns safe? Look at Shox already keeping this in mind. Now G2 are going to go through this side slowly, carefully, blah, 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 blah. But Shox is already thinking about, how do I get those guns away from these guys? Apex is probably going to go on the long route, so he's going to go all the way around spawn. Shox is waiting to be fed, and he is certainly hungry.
And I don't think he's done yet. XMS now knows he's in a pretty desperate situation. If he can actually get the AWP away from Shox, there might be something there. But again, how much do you back yourself? Oh, this is ballsy from Shox. Out of nowhere, the headshot comes in for the Tech 9, and that's just insult to injury for EnVyUs. They've had their weapons stripped from them and no opportunity for them to recover them. It's got to be a pause coming in, and it is. EnVyUs now need to reconsider their current situation with a tactical pause.
Yeah, that is perfect time for a pause. 15 to 11. It's getting a little bit warm now for EnVyUs, because it's always been the question of longevity here. You know, it's all very good and well to be pumped up, to be hyped up as an individual, but once you start being really ground down by these rounds, G2 have built back here. They started to show some presence. They've really worked out this nice A take that's been working quite well. The 3-man stack towards long didn't particularly hold it. They couldn't withstand. And do you chalk that up to individuals just maybe not quite playing it right, or do you need to tactically change something? These are all the questions, or these are all the things that EnVyUs have to be now answering. Happy needs to find an answer to what G2 have been bringing.
And if you use that last round as an example there, EnVyUs were definitely looking to carve something out of that round, continuing to push aggressively on towards long A, one after another after another. Now, to be fair, Sixer wasn't in a great position there. He had to turn the flash, but he wasn't in a corner. He wasn't able to obscure himself from the G2 pushing out there. Yep. Happy was a little bit too close behind him. There could have been a secondary flash that actually came in after the first frag that rendered him unable to really get involved in that fight. And then, uncharacteristically, Scream drops pretty much straight after. So a big investment towards A, but G2 got a lot closer to winning the round when they kept those 3 players back on that A site and went for crossfires and holding longer angles.
Yep, it's this is such a big round now coming back in. Once they go on that buy, not this one, the one afterwards, probably once they get that money beside them, they have to show that level of, okay, we've adapted here. But this time, G2 switching up, they've been doing that A hit over and over and over, and now, all right, quick B hit probably here. Let's see if they go straight for it. Do they read, or do they try and test the wall to see if there's a stack here, or do they just commit as a collective, utilize those mollies, utilize those flashes? So far, it's not been particularly effective at this point. Body's already out, though. KennyS finds XMS. Good for him to get some padding kills here, just build up the confidence, but Scream will find Apex, but it's fine. It's contained. There's no more threat. Shox holding the rotate, and Sixer left with just a USPS and not much else in this round. I doubt he's going to be able to get the rifles either. They're kind of, very handily guarding that, so nothing to be really collected for him either.
And look, a side effect of the fact that EnVyUs have played these rounds quite, I guess, carefully in terms of their economy and what they're buying is that G2 likely can, as a result, padding their money, could probably buy for the rest of regulation time now. So winning out this round, not losing too many guns, they're starting to get towards 10K, some of them there. And it means it's going to be hard for EnVyUs to actually sort of break them out. So they need to pretty much win on a gun round if they want to finish the game without it going to overtime. You can now see over 10K some of this money getting. You can see MBK only having to spend about a K. That's not great for EnVyUs, so they need to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, this is a big round now. This is the one you want to just close it, close that chapter before you get into the rest of the book. Just start it, just stop it right now. So Six has got the AWP, hoping to put something towards that. And now let's see where we play this one out towards. MBK, what is this positioning here? Right up in the tower, is he? Give a little peek towards MBK very, very quickly.
It's very passive, yeah.
No.
He's in Rapunzel.
Yeah, he is up in the tower. So basically, this could be a very slow grind towards B. Basically to allow MBK to just get anything. If anyone dares try and go on the long flank here, this basically gives G2 a lot of time. It says to them, take your time. Similar as that. And he's got the AWP here as well. So MBK's positioning is actually really interesting. But look at this counter-aggression. EnVyUs going to bring the game to G2. That's brilliant. XMS did this once before, but they hadn't seen it. They didn't push this far. And RPK is just a beast here. Stops them in drop. And now MBK was left so far behind. He has no play to this round.
He finally lets down his golden hair, but the rest of his team aren't there to see its luster, let alone see him now try and take it 1v5. It's not going to be enough. RPK shuts him down. And after a little bit of uncertainty, some rougher seas, EnVyUs complete the 2-0 in this series. Everyone thought G2 was coming into this as the dream team, or even as far as the super team. But Team EnVyUs said, no, we have our own team, we have our own players, and the French pride sits with us for now. It's been a pleasure, Lauren. What an intense and spicy game for us to be casting. Let's now pass it over to the desk, and now we'll hear their thoughts on what has been a crazy series of events. Alex, take it away.
Intense and spicy is right, Mitch. G2 Envy then is going to be seeing Envy pick up both. And I mean, we knew it was going to be dramatic, didn't we? The two French sides clashing for the first time after those rosters were shuffled and kerfuffled. And Envy have managed to go ahead and just blow all expectations out of the water.
Who could have predicted that?
What
Alex?
do you say?
Well, 10-1 ticked things off. Just to begin with, like, what the hell's going on there?
Tilt train is fully on.
They pick up the last 4. KennyS having an absolute stinker to get things off. Like we said, that was a question mark after Cash. Can he recover?
Yeah.
Apparently not. He got rolling in the second half. There was a bit of a comeback, but at that point, you go 10-1 down in the first half. It feels like it's a matter of time at that point. Scream lights out once again. RPK joining in this time. He actually fragged above him as well, so it wasn't just a one-man show. Overall, that's just really cool for EnVyUs. Like we kind of said before, that tweet they sent out after the Cash, you thought, okay,
Bit
guys,
risky.
read it in a little bit, you know, but they seem to be continuing the form and taking 2-0 against the so-called super team. That's a really cool performance for them, and I'm sure they're going to be very happy tonight.
Yes, no doubt, going to be some real positive vibes for Happy and the gang. I mean, we can just think back and remember, like, the statements we made prior to that and the statements we're making now is just a complete contrast, complete juxtaposition.
Yeah, like the leftover players who are Sixer, Scream, Happy, and RPK, they all contributed. XMS, the new guy, he didn't really, you know, get into the gear in either game yet, but this is exciting for them, and you know, these are the guys with the grudge, whereas the guys in G2 are sitting back looking, going, oh, you know, I'm kind of sorry, you know, in a little way for leaving their teams, and they're the ones struggling. I really like the clutch by Sixer, the 2v1 against Shocks and Body. That was quite nice.
Right?
Yeah.
It came close to another one as well, right?
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Just that missed smoke. It was a little bit further.
Chad was not happy about him. He was.
It looks so
It
good.
was actually really smart play. I don't think we have a replay of it, but basically he was in 2v1. Outplayed him like perfectly, didn't drop the smoke at the start of the clutch, gets the bomb down, drops it in the perfect position to get himself like beta, he's going towards the platform, but the gap was there and Shocks, he spotted
Because
it.
you were getting hyped. It was like, that's such a good smoke. That's so smart. Chad was like,
no, Henry, there's a gap, and he was right. He
was.
proved me wrong. So there you go.
There we go.
Lots of up and down moments.
It was up and down, but Envy do go ahead and get their head above water. A huge start for them here in the Pro League. You can see this was their debut, and what better way than to start off the Pro League than besting post-shuffle. It was a 16-11 on Cash, and it's going to be 16-12 over on Cbble. We started our day with an overtime. Indeed, Kingwin did prevail over on Overpass, so that's a huge victory for them in the domestic affair. And as you take your eyes over towards the secondary stream, you'll be seeing that we did get to see a whole lot of Frenchies. We had FaZe first of all, and following that one, we got to see Nuke and Cash played out by Hellraisers and LDLC. So it looks like there was French success all across the board today. And now as you take your eyes to see how that has affected our standings, Envy and FaZe taking a big leap up, joining Kingwin and Mouse on that 3-1 stead. And at the bottom of the pile, looks like Astralis and Na'Vi are going to be holding the 2-2, the big L's for now. And actually Heroic joining them in that club as well. Look at that LDLC start. That's spectacular. It's just joining Kingwin in like the newbies to the Pro League and dropping the bombs.
The lesser French teams seem to be rising.
I mean, it was Hellraisers, but yes.
I don't want to detract from anything. Hellraisers had Johnson, their coach, standing in for Angel, so that is obviously going to make it a bit of an easier or more interesting match, depending on how you're going to look at it.
And this is going to be exciting. The final match day of our first week in North America, kicking off in a couple of hours on this very channel. So do be sure to rejoin us for that. It'll be Misfits and Liquid to start things off. We get the double Cs, Cbble and Cash. And then over to Cbble and Dust 2 between Luminosity and the Renegades. I feel like we've seen a lot of the Renegades recently on the North American stream. Get to see how the Aussies do. And on that secondary stream for you guys, you get to see some of the Winter Fox versus CLG action and more of Complexity as they're going to do their very best versus SK. British Counter-Strike.
Winter Fox are now a majority.
Def is there?
That is true. Def and Surreal are there. They are actually good lads, and I wish them the very best.
Yes, so fingers crossed. Let's see what they can do versus SK. I mean, this is SK with Phelps now. Can't wait to see that game. If you want to check them out, do be sure to stick around on this very channel. Go, make yourself a sandwich, and kick back, relax, because there's more Counter-Strike on the way. But that's all from us. You guys had a good night?
Great night.
Interesting night.
Yeah.
Up and down, I would say. Bit of a whirlwind towards the end, but you know what? I've had a good
Unexpected
time.
results.
Yeah.
Unexpected. We'll leave it at that. Envy and G2 did do battle, and Envy prevailed in both. That will be the biggest takeaway here from our first week, that the French Revolution wasn't quite so clear-cut. This isn't a history lesson. This is Counter-Strike. But thanks for joining us, guys. We'll be back not next week, but the one after. Instead, you'll get your Counter-Strike fix from us from the MGM Grand. A lot of us are going.
Yes.
You'll be there. You'll be there.
We will.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're going to go hang out. He's like a veteran of Vegas. That's actually quite
He
hard
loves
to say.
it there. It's his favourite seat in the world.
Yeah, we're going to jump out of planes. We're going to like put 20p on black. Is that how it works? Can I do micro bets? 20 pence on black,
If you want to
please.
use the slot machines, yeah, we can get that happening for you.
Yeah.
But gambling's bad, kids.
But of course, we're always talking about fake money because things and stuff. All right, let's go ahead and get out of here. We're going to go ahead and take a 1-week break to go and get ready for none other than Vegas. And when we do return, it will be our second week, and Inferno will be in the map pool. Thanks for joining us, guys. This is the ESL Pro League Season 5, and we'll be back not this week, the one after.